All right, so welcome back. We've got another Hot Topic Tuesday. It is the 25th of June, and today we're going to continue on one final time here, at least this time, talking more about the social ban back at you media. Couple of things want to make sure that you know what's not coming and what is coming. So the first thing you'll notice on the screen is that there is no Hot Topic next week. I think that's a pretty obvious reason why, with it being July 2nd. Many are going to be out and about or not all that concerned about, we'll say, getting any education. Next, coming up on the 9th then. So we're going to be off next week, but back on July 9th. And Mark Will from Dale Carnegie Courses is going to be with us. And the subject matter being relationship selling. Now, that's going to be the deep dive. So that will be from noon until 1. You'll want to block that out. And then I want you to make note, because it'll be a special Tuesday where, if you can make it, we are going to have Mark continue on with a live session in Rochester. It will not be streamed. We're going to ask you to join us in the Rochester office on July 23rd. That will be 10 a.m. to noon, and that will be Mark Will, again, continuing on further to not just educate, but to further enhance your skills from what he's going to be teaching you on relationship selling. So put those two dates into your calendar. With that, I want to kick in with today's subject matter, and I want to do it with a quick success story that we've circulated. Some of you might have seen this, but one of our gang had, well, as they put it here, I placed an open house ad for last week on Saturday. I received over 10 leads to the phone and email, had over 30 people to the open house, and the house sold to someone who came through the open house. That's the kind of results that you want to have from any paid marketing and advertising you're doing. So with that, Jay, I'm going to turn it back over to you and let you run with it. And you've got to unmute yourself, buddy. Happens to the best of us.
I was just making sure you guys were paying attention. That's really all I was trying to do. So, all right. So hopefully everybody's feeling good. And I shared the wrong screen. So that's how today's starting. Let's go here. All right, there we go. Back at you. So today we're going to be talking about content. Content is king. And Back at You is creating content for all of you who have logged in, which I imagine is everybody on this call. Back at You is creating content for you. It's putting stuff out for you. But the real power in Back at You is taking care of the mundane content every other day, every day, and letting you focus on the important stuff, like that open house post. So today what we're going to focus on is creating our own content. And then it's really simple. It's really simple. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a designer. It's actually probably harder because when you get stuck in your ways, you like the way certain things work. So this is set up in a very simple way to get you posts created and to make it not hard. So we're going to go through it, and then of course we'll open it up for some questions on design, and then anything else you have Back at You, as long as that's okay with Sir Darwin. So we are going to start very simply by going to the design studio. So you can see the design studio is new. Not everyone who has Back at You in the world has the design studio, but the program we are on, we do have it. And you can see that there is all kinds of templates for you. Most of you who have seen a demo have seen something done with these templates. So we're not really going to spend a lot of time here. The only thing that I want to say is within some of these templates, when you go to change something, if, for instance, you want to change this purple to a brand color, I'm in the blue side now. This is where my account lives. I want to change that. It won't let me change it. Okay. And the reason being is some of these just, they aren't changeable to that brand setting. So you have to come up and actually try and go. Just to give you guys a small little way that I've been doing it is I start a new element, and then I jump back to brand. And when I'm on that element, it'll let me change that element to blue. I can either replace the other element in order to get, that's kind of takes a little while. Or now when I come up to this purple and I go to change it, you'll notice that my blue pops up for me down here in my recently used colors. Okay, there's a little opacity on that. That's why it's a little bit different. But I just want to say that if you go in there and you're like, why won't this change to the right color? That's what it is. It's a weird little hiccup that they have in that section. And I just wanted you guys to see that first. All right. So first and foremost, within the design studio, there is 3 different types of sizes that you can use or design: landscape and square. These are your social media. And notice that Instagram is only on the square and not there on the landscape, but everything else is on the landscape also. So just a tip for you designing: there's not a ton of need to design in landscape mode. Okay, there is some, but just for the majority of our posts that we're going to be sending to the main social media platforms, square is where we're going to be living. And as I bring up square, again, brings up all these templates that are ready for me to do. Now on the left, notice all these different options: listing, marketing, agent promotion. I know there's some admins here that are doing a lot of agent promotion, but as agents, you can do this for yourself. Okay. Testimonials. When you get a testimonial, hopefully you're getting testimonials every time you do a deal, you're asking for them, because those help, especially when you have them in Google as reviews, or you have them in Yelp, or however you are collecting them, someplace where people can see them. They are important. So this is a good way to get them out to social media if you're not paying for one of those services that automatically does that for you. Market updates, general market update numbers, some with pictures that you can pick and do what you want to do if you're sending to a certain area, neighborhood. The holidays, this is by order of where we are in the year. So if you ever wondered, I've already requested that they add a search section to some of these templates because it was driving me a little crazy. But I guess Canada Day is pretty soon. There you go, July 1st. I won't know because, you know, America, we don't care about that stuff. But if you scroll back, you'll see them in order of the way they happen throughout the year. And so if you want to go ahead and schedule things out for Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever it may be, you can do that for the upcoming year with those templates they have. Engaging content. It's just things that they're trying to get people to engage. So tips, tricks. Sometimes there'll be these questions in here that I've seen, you know, do you like cats or dogs type thing, basically trying to get people to respond. And then brokerage content, for those of you admins who didn't know, a lot more of this, the types of posts that you might do for your agents live in here. And as we add with the marketing department, we'll be adding to this, and you'll be able to see specific ones that we've created, we've designed, that no other company has. All right, so not to spend all of our time on templates, but I just wanted to breeze through that very fast before we got into the meat and potatoes of today, which is designing your own content. So if you like these, you can, of course, start with them and change them as much as you want. Or if you hit this blue create button, you get the same 3 options. And I didn't say this, but flyers, if you want to print a flyer, meaning a piece of paper, an 8.5 by 11 sheet for something, an open house, to stick on a window somewhere, to hand out to people, this is where that is. Okay, it allows you to design it. These are not meant to be posted on social media, which is why there's no logos in the middle of that icon. So back here, I'm creating, and I can create whatever I want, but I'm going to stick with the square. And it gives me a blank square. All right. So for those of you who are familiar with Canva and have ever ventured into the create a new project and just didn't use a template, this is the exact same thing you see. And it's basically just a blank canvas that you can do whatever you want with. Okay. So very quickly, and please don't judge my design skills based on what I do today. I promise when I take time, it looks pretty sometimes. All right. But what we're going to do today is we're just going to walk through what these do and what you can do. So the first of which is layouts. And again, this is just our same thing. If we want to change it for some reason to landscape, all right, this is actually easier than Canva to do here. The listing is, it's going to automatically kick up that listing. For you, it might kick up whatever your newest listing is. And if you're doing something listing wise, when you click on change listing, it will show up for you here if you have a listing. If not, the company listings will be right there. All right. We're not going to do a listing today. We've been doing that on every single one. So we're going to do this a little bit different. Brand is where your logos are for the overall brand. And then, of course, the color. Text, if we want to add text. QR codes. Now, QR codes on social media are not extremely effective because people are already looking at their phone. They're looking at the social media on their phone. So they're not going to really scan with their phone, if that makes sense. There's a way to do it, but it's way more work than anything else. And then photos. Notice here, photos by Unsplash. So if you ever need free photos, you can go to unsplash.com. You can come in here and click. These are free use photos that you can use. They have a good amount of them, and you can also search whatever you may want. Let's try, city apartment. And you can get different views. It's going to search from their entire database, not just what you see as it scrolls down. All right. And then elements. Elements are shapes. There's a lot of, they can't just call it shapes. There's a ton of different things. This is the first thing that pops up, but this is not all that you're limited to. So please know that. Again, this search works exactly the same. And we're going to show that in just a second. And then upload. You can upload some of your own stuff, which we'll do in a second. And then background is simply if I want to do something fancy with the background. So I'm going to start here because I usually like to do something along these lines. And I'm actually going to take this one that I saw here a second ago, just to give it a little bit of color. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my picture. Okay. So I'm an agent. Let's say I am creating just a contact me to find out about whatever I want. So I have my agent photo here. I just took this. It's very recent. So you guys know, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Whenever you click on something in the design studio, just like with Canva and really any other software design program, it'll give you this box. And this box allows you to move up and down, make it bigger, smaller, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to do something simple, like make it small. And I'm going to stick it right there. And I'm going to jump into the elements. And for me, I'm going to grab a circle. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to drag the circle to make it bigger. I'm going to put it over there. Notice these little lines that I'm getting. That is telling me that it's perfectly in line with my picture in the background. Okay. Now, the problem obviously is that this element is in the front. So as I'm designing, you're going to get into not only this tool menu bar, but this tool menu bar. So as we start here, I can delete the element that I have highlighted. I can duplicate the element that I have highlighted. I can lock or unlock it. I can change its transparency, which means see-throughness. I'm making up words as we go today. That's how it's rolling on Tuesday's Hot Topic today. And then there's my transparency, and then position. So position is the one that you will end up in most, and you'll notice here it says up to forward, down to bottom. So I'm going to go down. And what does that do? That pushes it down below the other picture that I have. And as I come back here, I'm going to make this picture a little bit bigger. And now I'm going to highlight the two of them because I want them to stay together. I don't want to have to move one or the other. So I have them both highlighted. And I'm getting this, and I get an extra button up here that says group. So I'm going to group them. And now when I move, I can do whatever I want. But if I need to change something, I don't get any colors. I don't get any options. So if I need to change the color of this background, I need to first ungroup. and then come and try and catch the edge of that little circle. And then I can change the background here. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully I'm not going too crazy fast for you, but I got this grouped and I got it ready to go. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a little box with boxes, things that have movable sides. I can make them a little bit easier. I can make them skinnier, whatever I want to do. So I'm going to make it a little bit skinnier because I'm going to cover up my hands because I want to put my name down here. Make sure that that's centered. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to change the color right here. And I'll get to this other stuff here in a second, but I'm going to change the color. And the color that I use last is usually in the top or the bottom bar. That's actually a little darker. If I don't see the color, it doesn't pick it up, then I'm going to grab this little, what they call an eyedropper tool. Grab that eyedropper, and you'll see it change colors to whatever I'm holding it on. I change that, and now I know that those are both the same. All right. So I got this great picture of myself. And I go over to text, and we can insert header text, title text, body text. And then these are 3 that they have. If you've ever been in Canva, you know that there's a ton more that Canva has, but I actually like the way that this text looks. So I'm going to grab it, and I'm just going to change the actual text. All right. I'm going to drag that down over my box where I want it to go. And just like the other elements, I can highlight it and move it. All right. Now, if I don't hold anything, I highlight it and move it, it moves to one corner. It only moves from the corner you're on. I'm on a Mac, so if I hold Option on a Mac, it moves the entire thing and keeps it where it is. You'll have to forgive me. I'll have to look up the PC version of that, but there is that option on PCs also. So I have my name here. And now I'm going to mess with the color again. I'm just going to, again, make this nice and simple. And now here I've created a very unappealing post for myself. Okay. The reason we're here is this is not a design class, unfortunately. We don't have enough within our 30 minutes to try and get the design degree ready for you guys. But what I really wanted to do was to show you the options that we have in order to design, and then hopefully you can use your creativity to take this even further. All right. So the last thing that I'm going to show in this section is just notice that there is a flip, effects, fit to page, apply mask. Flip is what you would expect. Flip horizontally or flip vertically. All right. It's only going to change the image. Effects brings up your options here. There are some options like blur, if you need to blur something out. If you needed to brighten it up, if it wasn't a professional photo maybe, and you just need to make the photo look a little nicer. So if you think about some of your listing photos, some of them can use a little help sometimes. And this is a very simple, just kind of fixes everything. It's not a real fine tuning. If you like the sepia look or the old country Western look that I always say, grayscale is just black and white. Putting a border around something, you can see it kind of popped around the box. Now, this is an image that the background's been removed from, also called a PNG. If you ever noticed that and wondered what it means that it can have the background removed. As long as the background was white, it'll remove that background. So, but the image is still a square, even though you can only see the edges of that. Corner radius. So if I want to make the image a circle by itself, notice it drops into our actual circle. And that's basically just taking the box and making it into a circle. And then shadow, if I want to add a shadow to the image, and it's funny how for the border, it goes around the box, but for the shadow, it actually can stick with just the image that's in there. So that's there. Again, not very pretty, I understand. But I'm just trying to give you guys the basics of how to get there and what you can do. So any questions on this before I move on to anything else?
Jay,
Yep,
someone in Lapeer is asking how you change the color of the text.
perfect. So the color of the text and the color of any shape or element or whatever you want, whenever you click on it, you get this box. That means you can change the color. All right, so the same with the text. Oops, I buried my text. So the same with the text, you get that color right there. You also get the font, you get the size. Now you can just drag to make it bigger or smaller. Okay, notice that this font size gets smaller when I make it smaller, the box, and it does the same thing, font style, bold and italic. And then you have your justification here, underline, strike through, all the same stuff is right there for you. Let's make this as ugly as possible. And then
Just to
the
make
last,
note, some people don't like clowns.
sorry for those of you. I usually use clowns when people don't send me their image. That's what I'll put on their website for them. I haven't done that here, but it's a quick way to get people to send me their actual
There you go.
photos. But so it's just a habit of mine. Sorry. We'll delete the clown for you. And then this line, oops, I buried it. These lines with the arrows, these give you line height and letter spacing. Letter spacing makes sense to most people. It's the space between the letters. The line height is the same thing. So if you get something and you want to be fancy and creative, you can make that space bigger or smaller. Hopefully that makes sense. And then the effects, basically the same thing. You just don't get as many. So you got blur. I can blur my name. Stroke is an outline. I'm going to make it bigger here so you can see it. Background, obviously background image. And then we can make it the corner radius harder or softer. And then the opacity, again, is something see-through, see-throughness. And then that last, that shadow, same thing. Anything else here? And this is a really great piece of art. I just want you guys to realize how beautiful this is. This is contemporary.
Your talents are showing and shining
That's
right
how I got
now.
my job. How I got my job. All right. So I'm going to X out of this. So I guess before I just say that, your download, share to social, and then save. So if I want to save this project for later to work on it later, I can obviously name it and save it. It's going to save it for me. And I have that option to come back to it later and look at how beautiful it is. Or just if I have to go get more info, whatever it may be. And then obviously share it to social. If I click that, it will share it for me. I think my pop-ups might be blocked because usually with everything with you get the bar from the left. So let's get out of here real quick and see. Don't save. Let's see. Okay, thankfully I'm on my account. I just realized I might have shared that to somebody else's. No, okay, so it didn't. So I think I got the pop-up blocker on, but anybody who shared anything or created any posts know that when you hit that share, you get the blue box from the right side that pops up and starts asking you questions, right? So that's when I'm in the design studio, the type of options I have. And then just for those who haven't noticed it, this create content button is the same thing here. Create a listing post. This is basically identical to when you come down here and you're looking at your listings and you click on the actions button and schedule a post. Okay. It's basically the same thing. Create a landing page post. So we talked about landing pages last week. Again, same thing. Content post from content library. Sorry. Create a post from content library. This is the Back at You posts that it pulls from. These are like blog posts. Think of them like blog posts. So you have these different options here for you. And then you can go through and pick whichever one you like. And then it pops up with all the info for you. And you can add a caption if you like. All right. And then it takes you through just like regular posting with everything else. And then last but not least, create a custom post. So if I really get it, if I like designing, but I like a little bit more options, so I use something like Canva and I create my own custom posts, I can do the custom post, or I create it in Canva, sorry. I can come in here, I can add an image. I can select from my downloads. And now I have this post that I made in Canva, which isn't that much better than the other one. Sorry for the clown. And then I can write my caption here, whatever it may be. And then I can go through the process of hit continue. It'll ask me where I want to post to. It'll ask me if I want to advertise, and so on and so forth. Now, the other thing I can do is I'm going to back up here. If I want to add a video. So for those who might be doing video, if you want to do a little more in the reel realm, the reels realm, create a video and it's going to upload that video, but you can do that in Canva, you can do that in CapCut or whatever other service you use. You can do that, create it, and then put it in here and be able to post it to all of your platforms at the same time. So here I have the video that I created / stole from Canva templates that I changed, maybe put my own pictures, my own words, whatever it may be, and then it's ready to go. And now I can just put my caption here for what this post is, and I can go through and post it to as many platforms as I want with one click. Hopefully that makes sense. You can do as little or as much as you want in Canva, and that's the real beauty of it. Like I said, the content that they give you is great. If you really want to leverage the power of this platform, you're going to be creating some of your own posts, whether you do it in the design studio or in something like Canva, or if you have marketing, talking to the marketing people to have them create some other stuff for you that they can then post. And this is how they're going to do it, just so you know. But what questions do we have?
Yeah, one of them, Jay, came out, and I think Holly, you came up with a great idea, which is we've talked about coming soon, and currently they're not really showing it as coming soon. This would be a way to be able to create that then.
Yes. Yep. This would be a way to create that. Also, if you're, let's see if I can do this from memory. Oops. Oh, because I can't do, so I can't do it from that side. Sorry, because I don't have any listing. So I'm going to go to this side and do it. And I'm just going to pick this. We're selling the river. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to select this post. And as I'm here, coming soon. So now the problem obviously with this is it has to be actually in the MLS. So I realized as I was clicking that you were talking about it wasn't in the MLS yet. But
Well, actually, Jay, it would be okay because at least in the real comp MLS, it will show as an active listing. I think that's where the drawback is at for Back at You. It's going to show active, but if we want to promote it as a coming soon, you just demonstrated it. So it
Yep.
should be there.
Okay, well, that works. And if it's not, then yes, you can create your own and do it, whether you do it in Canva or whether you go to the design studio and go to listing marketing. Oh, so we're moving super slow. And then you can see, so you have these with just listed, whatever it may be. But if I click on this and then I change those words to coming soon, and I can add my own picture instead of worrying about the listing. So if I just go to photos, I can, upload. Let's see here.
John, he actually does like clowns.
Lafferty? It's got to be
Yeah.
Lafferty. Yeah, I figured.
It would figure, wouldn't it?
That's why we got along so well when we met. So I have my picture. I can drag my picture and I can basically, if I just drag it over the other image, it'll take the other image. And then I can change whatever I need to change. And then I'm good to go. That's another way you can do it too, if you like the look of that, or you can make your own. You can totally make your own design. If I like everything except for, this white bar, I can just go from there.
And the neat part to this is if you don't have the time or don't want to do all this, all you've got to do is go get your 7-year-old, daughter, niece, granddaughter, whoever it may be, and let them do this stuff. They'll probably have fun with this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and it's a time thing. It can be a time suck for sure, but if you want to craft something special, this is the way to do it. It's much easier than it used to be. I'll tell you that. And having it here, so Canva's great, but creating in Canva, you got to download it and then you got to go upload it somewhere else, right? So if you can create here, it's great because I can just click, let's see if it'll give it to me this time. I can just click share social and it's gonna walk me through the prompts and get me to the point where I can go ahead and then I'm done versus that extra 5 minutes or so in order to get it posted.
It looks like all the questions are answered, Jay.
Okay.
So then, hey, I'll just throw it back out as a reminder. No hot topic coming next week. So July 2nd, we will be off. So make sure that you keep note of that. I guess if you sign in, it's no problem. Put it into your calendar. I think everybody knows Dale Carnegie and all of the things that he taught over all of those years are coming back. And I think a big part of what will come in what Mark is going to be teaching us is probably as part of the How to Win Friends and Influence People, because that is about the relationship selling. So make sure you make note for those dates. Nothing next week. Mark's with us on the deep dive for July 9th. And then in the Rochester office on July 23rd, and that'll be from 10 to noon. We'll let you know how to just get your name in for there for that. Looks like I see one last question. Oh, now they pop up. Jay, you're back on.
All right.
I got here late. Can I upload my own video into Back at You and schedule the post?
Sure can. You gotta stop sharing there for a second.
Got it.
Oops. Yep. So when you are in your home or wherever, as long as you got this menu, you can click create content. And then you get these 4 options here, create custom post. And then you can upload an image here or a video, whichever one you want to do, whichever one you choose to do. It will then have you ask you a couple questions as you go through the post. Waiting for that to upload. This is going to be the caption of the video. So, Jay's a clown is the caption of the video. And then once that video is there, I'm going to hit continue and it's going to walk me through the process like it always does whenever you post.
And Jay, Valerie put one in here too. I noticed my listing video was not clear on how to add photos. She was only able to delete and rearrange them up to 20 photos it grabbed from the listing. Is there any way to change those photos that would go up?
It's yes. Let's see here. You said that was Valerie?
Yep.
What office is Valerie in?
Valerie is in Rochester.
Okay. We're going to use, well, I'm on the blue side, so I'm going to try and stick with somebody. Let's see. Let's use Bob. All right. Oh, he doesn't have any listings either. Okay. I got to add somebody with listings.
Use Barb. Barb's always got listings. Barbara Wiseca.
All right. Create a listing post. So we're gonna take this one right here. And listing video, I believe is what you were doing. So I'm wondering if what she was talking about, were you here? Were you in this looking at the branded video?
Valerie,
Yes.
take yourself off if
Okay.
you're there.
All right.
Yes,
So
that
within
one.
here, edit the video.
Yeah, but it only grabs 20 photos and it was the 20, like the first 20, and it
Yep.
wouldn't let me add that I could see.
So let's see here. Let's pick that. Confirm. Oh, I gotta confirm these. Let's my favorite one. Okay, we'll take that one. All right. So we're there, and we're gonna hit continue down here. And then here is the 20 photos. So this one only has 15 photos. But if I click on it, I can remove it. And then I guess I need another listing where I can show you more photos, because you'll be able to pull them in, because what it's doing is it's asking me which ones I want to use. So do you see this? Is this where you were?
Yeah, I was able to do that and you can rearrange them, but it wasn't clear. You know, I removed a couple thinking maybe then it would let me add, and I didn't see it, how I could
It wouldn't
add.
let her
'Cause
up, so it wouldn't let you upload any new ones.
I didn't see how to do that.
But it says it's a maximum of 20, is that right?
Yeah,
It'll
it's a
take-
maximum of 20 for the video. Let me see. Let me find something. 23. Let's try this one. Okay, I'll leave that stuff the same. 18 photos. It just told me there was 23. Yeah, well, I don't know why it's not showing all of them. That's a good question. I'll have to look into that a little bit further and try and figure out why.
Okay, thanks. And then my
Yeah.
other question I can take offline.
All
Okay.
right. I think we've now got them all. So,
Okay.
we'll bring it to an end, guys. If you think you need more, we've always got Jay around. We can always bring him back. And of course, as always, if there's a subject matter that we need to know about that you think would be great to bring to everyone, throw it my way. I am always looking for those topics. They're rarely predetermined like we did for this month, or even for 2 more Tuesdays coming up here in July. So appreciate y'all. Won't see you until the 9th. So if I don't, have the happiest of Independence Day, July 4th, and you know what you say, America. Have a great one, everybody.
Happy 4th of July.